Part 2 of ERLC's 2024 summer update has released, and trust me, it is exciting. Before we start, please do consider subscribing if you enjoy the content on this channel, it would be very much appreciated. So, let's break it all down. Starting with the big talking point, the off-roading vehicles. With this update, we have both ATVs and UTVs added to civilian, law enforcement, and the fire department. The ATVs are nearly the exact same on all, with the exception of emergency lights and a medical bag you can attach to the back. The suspension on these is incredible, and also very fast and agile vehicles, though be careful since, like real life, they're very easy to flip. Glad to see that the developers did in fact add an animation so you are actually holding on to the handlebars. The UTVs are slightly different on each team. Civilian models have just 2 seats, whilst those on department have 4, and doors enclosing the passenger compartment. The fire department model has the bed lowered with a backboard attached to the back. A victim can lay down to be inspected or transported, and there's space for a medic to accompany them. In total, the fire department model can carry 6 players. Customization wise, you can add a mini light bar and rear window lights on departments if you'd like, and similar to the ATV, there's a bunch of different animations depending on where you're sitting. It looks really good, and I'm very glad they added these. Vehicles such as the ATV, UTV, and even lawnmower can be spawned standalone or on top of a flatbed trailer. These trailers can't be spawned separately, but you can detach the vehicles and use on their own. Interestingly, you can now have a car, UTV, and trailer all spawned at the same time. Pretty cool. As with all new vehicles added, there are of course working brake and reverse lights on both the vehicles and trailers. And after some testing, it seems that the UTV and ATV are able to reach an additional 20 miles an hour faster when driven off-road. Definitely made for the rugged terrain. There's great detail in both the UTV and ATV, though I would like to say it's pretty snug in here. Many of us have been waiting nearly 2 years for another map update, and it looks like something may be happening. It's very minimal, don't get me wrong, but we've seen these sort of teasers in the past. Part of the highway guardrail has been removed, and there are street lights laying on the ground, as well as a tree down by the river. Additionally, a small dirt road is now linking up to the southbound lane of the highway. Again, it's a small change, but possibly teasing to something much bigger. I predict next update will reveal a lot. For the first time since the helicopter was added back in 2021, we've received an update to the camera system. When you call in the heli to patrol or locate a wanted player, we've now got complete control over the camera movements. Zooming in, out, rotating the camera 360 degrees, and being able to pan nearly 90 degrees. Many of you will agree that this change makes helicopters so much easier to use in pursuits, manhunts, and general roleplays. This has been a great addition, and I think many of us will find the helicopter even more useful now that we have extended control. Summer Part 1 brought us a handful of fictionalized vehicles, and we're continuing that trend. Starting with DOT, the 1995 Everett pickup and Street Sweeper have both received an update, tying in with the fictional branding. You may have also noticed the different livery on the pickup truck. I'm not entirely sure why this is, but the developers have used a different logo and text to all the other DOT vehicles. For the Street Sweeper, it looks like they just remodeled the cab to prevent any copyright issues, as the rest of the vehicle looks exactly the same. Moving on, the 1995 Everett is slightly different on civilian, noticeably using an extended cab. Definitely looks like the developers have been taking note of the community feedback, since the fictional vehicles have for sure been improving. The 2011 Chevron Camion S and LRZ have both been remodeled. The differences are very slight, but the more you look at them, the more you see. For example, the spoiler, exhaust, and grills up front. The police variant has received an update as well, with a slightly different push bar to accommodate for the low grills. Lastly, the 2008 Tahoe on both civilian and law enforcement has received a fictionalization, I suppose we'll call it that. Not looking too unfamiliar, which is good to see, but the exhaust definitely caught my eye. Since this is a newly modeled SUV, you're able to add on the pillar lights we saw in the last update. Not going into an awful amount of detail in this video regarding vehicle remodels, but you can expect future uploads to cover more features. Moving into the smaller updates, the map UI has changed to match the rest of the game's revamped interfaces. The location markers have changed slightly, but apart from that, it works identical to how it did before. Looks good, apart from that, not much else to say. These new no fishing signs can be found around the Springfield Lake and north of the river. Strange how they can't be found around any other part of the river or lakes around the map. Let me know your thoughts, but I think this could play a role in a future update. Lastly, just after you enter Hyra Park, there's a new vehicle spawn point. However, you're only able to spawn civilian trailers and ATVs. It's pretty handy for roleplays, just make sure you have a way to get back. With updates of this scale, I'm bound to have missed or left out something from this update video. If there were any changes you found in the game, please drop them in the comments below. PRC have delivered once again. Not as large as part 1, but for sure an update that will keep us busy exploring. Summer part 3 should be releasing within the next 2 weeks, so stay tuned to the channel.